pending case, pending claim in Sabah, di ba? But what is Sabah? It's still under Malaysian government. So that will be similar with that Scarborough Shoal. Na sa atin yun, pero una sila naka-reclaim, sila nandun ngayon, can we drive them out? Not even US can drive them out. Why? There was a time when US Defense Department was saying that they can or they are capable to blow out yung artificial island constructed by China. Sinagot siya ng China, we are also capable of sinking yung aircraft carrier. Lumalaban ng China eh. You see? And now again, US is trying to give parang psychological support to the Philippines that they will back up the Philippines if attacked by China. What is the reason of China to attack the Philippines? We are all friends, di ba?
Correct.
So parang they know that China will not do that. Di ba? And isa pa dyan, the experts were saying that we have to befriend other countries in Asia and even in Europe. Yeah, we are not making enemy with them, di ba? We are continuously befriending them. US, France, England, even Russia. We are friends with Russia. China, of course, and all other countries in the Southeast Asian. Vietnam, Taiwan, Brunei, Malaysia. Pero, ang ibig ko sabihin dito na, although we are all friends, but when the time comes that way, the problem, I don't think they will get involved in the war. Like for example, US Congress will never declare war against China just because of the Philippines. We have to be realistic, but
yeah, correct.
They will never. For example, nagkaroon tayo ng diferensya sa China. Then, of course, the president will support because we are an ally. But I don't think U.S. Congress will approve for the declaration of war against
You know, Rex, the U.S. Congress, they are parang questionable yung action, including Biden's action sa recent problem between the Israeli and the Palestine.
Yeah, because you know
what was the answer of Biden? He said na the Israelis have the right to defend because the Hamas are sending rockets, but he never mentioned about the problems of Palestine.
Well, because they are from the very beginning, they are pro-Israel.
Correct.
Ally nila yun eh.
Correct.
So we cannot do anything except to watch. Even UN is now giving warning to both countries to stop the violence. But you know, these countries have been enemy. They were enemies. They have been enemies for a long time. In fact, lately or a few years ago, Arafat was the head of the Palestinians. But later there was a sort of settlement between Arafat and Israel. Pero eventually, gusto pa rin ng Palestinian kukunin yung original land nila na nakuha ng Israel during the 1967 war. But Israel is not willing. In fact, Jerusalem, they are claiming Jerusalem. But anyway, that is as far as
international
news are concerned.
Issues. Pero local issues, yung West Philippine Sea, sa palagay mo, there is no more. We will no longer discuss about it.
You know, they have been talking about debate. That debate is useless. Kasi nagiging political issue yun eh.
Correct.
The opposition is always opposition. They will never agree with the administration. Di ba? Now, what are we going to do to strengthen our claim? We have to unite and protect what is left to us. Kung anong naiwan sa atin, yun ang bantayan natin. Yung nakuha na nila, nandyan na yan. May claim pa tayo dyan, di ba? But physically, it is hard to reclaim the area from China because they have already developed that. But the claim will always be there. Until the end of the world, our claim will never be there.
Alam mo rin, China never went there when the Americans were still at Subic. They never started anything there. But then we stop the contract of the Americans at Subic. So China went to the West Philippine Sea.
Yeah, but anyway, with even if the U.S. bases were still there, China, in fact, U.S. declined to, or they are trying to be neutral as far as the case of the Asian countries are concerned, these cases. So, meaning, itong China, whether the U.S. The U.S. ships were still there in Subic, they were decided to develop the area
Develop the
because
area.
they are one of the claimants, di ba?
Correct, correct.
And the fact that U.S. is trying to decline support to the Philippines because of the Asian problem that they want to be neutral. So that, in fact, that aggravated, that further strengthened the plan of China to further develop itong Scarborough Shoal. Now, they have a very modern airport, military airport with fighter jets, warplanes, ballistics weapons. Nandun na lahat. Kompleto na sila.
They have a lot of fishing vessels there.
Well, actually, that is a part of their claim or occupation. No? So, in a way, sa atin naman, there is really need for us to be neutral as what the President has in his foreign policy. Neutral tayo, maliit lang tayo, di ba? We cannot afford to fight big countries. So, we have to befriend everybody. Russia is our friend, China is our friend, of course, US and other countries in Asia, Japan, Australia. Lahat na bansa, kaibigan natin. Di ba? So, of course, Korea is with us, no? Itong South Korea. So, ito lang ang gagawin natin. We have to maintain our stand. Of course, the claim is there. But what is left to us is the one to be protected by us through unity, not by quarreling, not by debating. We can never protect our territory, what is left to us, by debating or by fighting with each other. So that is a good lesson. While we have the experts, but the experts are theoretically correct. We agree 100% about their commentary. They are correct theoretically, but actual and in reality, that is a different story. Di ba?
Correct, correct.
So, yan ang problema dyan sa kanila. But anyway, there were 5 presidents who failed to do something in Scarborough Shoal. Starting from Cory Aquino, Ramos. Irap, GMA, and Noynoy Aquino. You see? Because in 1989 or 1979, meron na tayong detachment dyan, 1970s.
Ngayon wala na.
Nandun pa rin, pero in fact, it is only now that President Duterte is rehabilitating it now because of this problem there. But before that, walang gumalaw na presidente. Pinabayaan nila from the time of it was Marcos initiated the construction of the airstrip there and the detachment. But after Marcos, wala na. 5 presidents have done nothing. Now that 2020, when the Chinese started reclaiming, that was the time when we complained, but we cannot afford to stop them. What is our capability to stop them? Di ba? So we went to the UN Arbitral Court where it was heard and we won, but it was also timely that after we won the case, they have also completed their reclamation. See? So there's nothing that we can do except to wait, except to tawag dito.
Sabi ni Duterte,
diplomatic.
Sabi ni Duterte, pag hindi pa nila na-extract yung sa mining, hindi pa siya mag-interfere.
Well, actually, mayroon tayong parang joint venture ba? Hindi rin natin kaya, ha? We cannot afford to, tawag dito, yung dig oil in that area without other countries helping us. So we have, actually, according to information, there was a sort of a joint venture between China and the Philippines for the digging of the oil there in that area. Because we alone cannot do it. What is our financial capability?
Correct.
Ngayon, lalo na ngayon, nahirapan tayo because of this COVID. Billions of pesos were spent on this COVID problem.
COVID problem, okay.
But anyway, itong COVID naman, we are Now, again, in some mga extended for the MECQ, no?
Yeah, extended up to...
We were, parang kung baga sa ano, we were demoted twice, no? From captain to second lieutenant. Why? Because from NGCQ, GCQ, now we are on MECQ. So, double promotion, demotion.
double demotion.
Because of the hard-headed...
According to records, Rick, according to the Inquirer, outside of Metro Manila, Zamboanga has the most number of infections.
One of the cities. But anyway, ang problema kasi dito, maraming matigas ang ulo. Ngayon kung mahawa sila, kasalanan ng gobyerno. Di ba? And of course, our implementers, but they should be consistent. Itong COVID-19 naman, regardless of what classification we have in the community quarantine, we have to maintain the implementation of the simple health protocols, di ba? Kahit ano, whether MGCQ, GCQ, or MECQ, those protocols are to be implemented with consistency.
Wear mask, wash hands,
Very simple
social
lang yun,
distancing.
di ba? Now, with the extension of MECQ in Zamboanga City, there is a possibility that our program might be terminated also.
Correct.
Because
correct.
we have to comply with the protocol set by the local IETF regarding exposure.
Yeah,
Exposure to the
correct.
public. So, we might as well implement that protocol, and maybe we can wait until the classification is lowered to maybe MGCQ, that we can again go on the air. But for the meantime, I think the Pagbabago is planning to rest temporarily during this MCQ. And of course, during MCQ, wala tayong negosyo eh.
Correct.
We don't have earning.
Correct.
No business, not small, big and small, wala tayong business. We are just depending on our little meager pension. So, our after role is public service, no? Public service, but public service is difficult if you are not in government service.
Correct.
Because
So we will continue to serve our people in a smaller capacity,
in
any
small-
capacity that we can.
in a simple way, we can always call up the station for whatever information that we want to. But the regular program might be temporarily
Stop.
suspended. But temporary lang yun. Pag bumalik tayo sa MGCQ, mayroon na tayong businesses are open, maybe we can also
We will
reopen.
come back. Correct.
So anyway, itong we have to be practical, di ba? At saka itong itong protocol natin, this must be primarily implemented by barangay officials. Kasi sila daw ang frontliners sa barangay, di ba?
Correct.
And of course, we have the police, we have the local law enforcement dito sa Ordinance Law Enforcement Unit. Lahat na, everybody should cooperate, especially the public. You will notice, Ed, that in Zamboanga City, most of the barangays that are affected are within the 7-kilometer
within the
radius.
7-kilometer radius.
What do you think? What is the reason why?
Because
In,
of the
Limaong is
because
not
of,
affected,
because of the
another
people, because of the social distancing. It's not being observed here.
At saka maraming violators dito sa city.
Yun.
Just go around, try to go around in the city proper. Mayroong face mask pero nasa leeg.
Correct. May face shield
Ganito.
sa ulo.
Ganyan, no?
Face shield sa ulo.
Ang face shield nila nasa ulo. Paano ka di ba?
Paano ka maka-depend ng virus?
You cannot prevent virus from penetrating your body if you are careless. So, ang ano dito,
Alam mo, Rex, sa Isabela, we celebrated the May 3 Fiesta in Santa Cruz. All the people in the house of my in-laws were COVID positive after the fiesta.
Fiesta of
Santa Cruz.
doon sa city proper, no?
City
Santa
proper,
Cruz.
oh. Because one of the sons, I will not mention the name, may COVID infection pala yun. So everybody were infected also.
Where was he infected? Outside?
Outside.
Outside of Basilan? Before?
Outside of Basilan.
Well, very fast ang transmission yan eh.
Very fast ang transmission.
That's why these protocols are really very important. Now we have this vaccination. And I hope our people will appreciate this move of the government to vaccinate as much as possible everybody.
Correct,
This
correct.
is more of prevention. Although you are vaccinated, but just the same, you have to continue following the protocol.
Tingnan mo sa United States, they already give the order. Those who are fully vaccinated are not already required to wear masks.
But anyway, sa atin dito siguro they rescinded because we are not sure of the, hindi naman itong vaccine is an assurance na hindi ka natatablan, di ba? This is just the prevention, but there is no assurance that you will never be infected again.
If you are vaccinated.
So the best solution is have yourself vaccinated and observe protocols regardless of the classification of the community quarantine. That is the only way that we can be safe, no? So dito sa atin kasi maraming mga matigas ang ulo. In fact, I am thinking na we might as well recommend just like what happened in Cebu, yung nagkaroon sila ng surge ng COVID-19, di ba pinadalhan ng tangke,
Correct.
armored carrier? Ha? Oh, nahinto man. Kasi yung mga mahuli, ipasok sa armored carrier, dalon sa kampo. Yung mga bata na matigas ang ulo, ibala sa kanyon. So, marinig ang bata yung tunog ng tangke, wala na, parang daga na pumapasok na sa butas. So, I think that's the best, no?
Correct.
Padalan dito ng mga armored carrier. Kanya ito mga violators, mass violators. Pasok sa yung armored personnel carrier dalhin sa Kalarian.
Kalarian is the number one barangay.
Doon sa kampo,
The most number of infected.
Second to, I think Tituan, no? But
Kalarian is number one.
Tituan is number one because Tituan is overpopulated. Tingnan doon, yung pasok ka doon sa mga sa mga mga drive sa Tituan, sobrang tao doon. Mga bahay doon hindi na, in fact, Tituan is no longer residential, it is now commercial, aggravated by the presence of commercial buildings. So doon sa looban ng Tituan, talagang siksikan doon, di ba? And aggravated by the fact that they are not following itong health protocols. So, ibig sabihin dito, it is safer to stay in the barangay than to stay in the city proper, no? Kasi doon sa far from barangay, open yun, di ba?
Correct.
Yung mga, in fact, dito sa mayroong kansila sa enclosed area, they are trying to prevent the gathering there. But sa open area, mga restaurant, kasi fresh air, di ba? Lapas-pasok ang hangin. So this semester, if you are residing in Limaong, walang COVID doon sa Limaong. Hindi makapasok kasi mahangin, di ba? Malakas ang hangin, mapapilot siya. Limaong, Limpapa, Licomo, dito sa Mangoso, Calabasan, and other far from barangays. It is safer to stay there than here in the city proper. Kasi dito city proper, nandito lahat ang nandito lahat ang problema because we have a very small heart of the city and yet everything is here. We are proud to be a part of the city, but those who are far from barangays are not enjoying the city life. Like people of Calabasa, okay, of course, when you go out, magtanong, taga saan ka? Sambunga City. You're proud to be from Sambunga City, but you do not know that you are from far-flung barangays, that you do not enjoy city life there, that you do not know what is city life, except for the small heart of the city. So, what is the solution? In order to prevent minimize this COVID-19 transmission.
You follow the protocols issued by the IATF. The only way to stop the transmission, you must follow the protocols.
And I think one of the solutions is to develop the far-flung barangays into a bigger community para hindi na tayo magdalasukan dito sa city proper, no? Because for a long time, these big barangays have remained barangays. So, what can those people do there? They have no opportunity for employment. They don't have the opportunity
We will tell them about the main intention of our project here in the Pagbabago movement. Create the province of Zamboanga.
Well, actually, that has been our advocacy. Province of Preciosa province outside the 10-kilometer radius. That will solve many things, di ba? COVID-19 could be one
They
of
will
the...
decongest the city.
At saka, more importantly, yung development could be expanded.
Even
At
the
saka,
real properties will be tataas ang value.
and people there will not be selling their properties anymore because they can make use of it.
Yeah, correct.
Yung along the road, they can establish their business there. Little by little, small business
Now,
at the beginning.
marami nagbebenta, Rex.
Well, you cannot blame them kasi wala namang employment opportunity. But if they are employed, I don't think they will sell the land. Di ba? And
Correct.
if they are in business, they will not sell the land. They have to take advantage of the growth of the community. As the community grows, they also grow in business. As the population increases, the growth of the community will also progress.
We will remind the public that our intention is really for Zamboanga City to be maintained, but then municipalities will be created, especially Bitali, Kuruan. About 7 to 8 municipalities will be created.
Yeah, because without elevating their status, you cannot stop people from these barangays to migrate to the city proper to look
To
for employment.
decongest the city.
In fact, that we have that Balik Probinsya program of the president, no, to decongest Manila because Manila has a population of 12 million. During night time,
Daytime,
15 million. Similar with Zamboanga.
similar.
So, if we develop the Bitali, Uruan, Sangali, Kulyanan, or Taluksangay, Ayala, and Labuan, it will contribute to the progress of Zamboanga City that will remain a highly urban city. Because if the neighboring province is progressive, the city will also become progressive because this is the center of commerce and industry, di ba?
There will be maybe 4 or 5 candidates for mayor here, but no one have spoken in favor of our proposal.
Well, with your respect, because most of them were not exposed to province.
the other areas of the
Yeah.
Philippines.
They have not lived in the rural area, kaya
Correct,
hindi nila
correct.
alam kung paano lalaki yung ano. Sa atin, Buddhist side, I grew up in the rural area, I grew up in the province, no? Kasi kaya alam ko paano lumaki ang community.
Look at Sibugay. All these small towns now, they are already progressing. From Ipil, Naga, Kabasalan, Imelda, Malangas, they are all progressing.
In fact, if we recall the story of Zamboanga, there was only one Zamboanga before, Zamboanga Peninsula. But in 1936, it was divided into two. Zamboanga City was created, and the areas left out of Zamboanga City was a province, no, under Dipolog. We have only one province before. The capital was Dipolog. In fact, I was already in the elementary when Zamboanga del Sur was separated or was created in 1952.
By Rosilier Lim.
By Congressman, then later Senator Lim. 1952, Ed, no? And Pagadian City, when we arrived in 1951, it was a very small community. It was a barangay. It was still a barangay when Zamboanga became a city in 1936. Pagadian became municipality after the Second World War. So, 1951, napakaliit na community ang Pagadian. But later on, when Zamboanga del Sur was created, lumaki ang Pagadian kasi yun ang naging provincial capital ng Zamboanga del Sur.
Correct,
Before,
correct.
people from Zamboanga del Sur have to go to the Polog kasi yung provincial capital at saka provincial officials were in the Polog, national officials were in the Polog. But when the Samua del Sur was created, dito na sa Pagadian sila, yung from Sibugay to the eastern municipalities.
Panahon ni
Dito
Enerio
to
yan, Rex?
Pagadian
Panahon
City.
ni Enerio?
Yeah, Enerio was the first congressman sa Samua del Sur.
Si the father of Cerilles,
Well, he was a governor, then later a congressman. In fact, before, there was only one congressional district in Samua del Sur. That includes Zamboanga City and
during the time
Basilan
of
City.
Juan Alano.
No, even during the time of Enerio, and after him.
Si Alano was the only congressman.
Yeah, Basilan. He was congressman
Zamboanga
Basilan.
del Norte,
Zamboanga.
Zamboanga
Later
del Sur.
on, because of neglect by the local officials of Zamboanga, Basilan was separated from Zamboanga City. In 1948, it became a separate city. Before, in 1936, it was a part of Zamboanga.
Correct.
So, in 1948, Basilan divorced from Zamboanga because of neglect. So, there is a possibility na may history of divorce ng Zamboanga, no? There is a possibility that other barangays in the eastern and western part of the city might also divorce
Like Vitali.
because of neglect. They might think of being annexed with Sibugay in the eastern
Correct,
and the western with Zamboanga del Norte or
Norte,
Zamboanga,
correct.
Hermosa, if Hermosa.
Labuan is near the area of Zamboanga del Norte.
Adjacent na.
Limpapa.
So these are possibilities na if the people of these barangays can see no light at the end of the tunnel, they might think of that, no?
Correct.
But the easiest way is to create a province outside the 10-kilometer radius of Zamboanga and make Bitali a municipality sang itong Ruan, Sanggali, Kulyanan or Kabaloy, then Taluksangay. Why Taluksangay? Because if Taluksangay is a town, the local official of Taluksangay can develop the 11 islands
Correct.
into a tourist destination.
Correct. 11 Island.
Now, if the 11 islands are developed, it will
It's a tourist spot.
contribute to the progress of the city kasi lahat naman tao pupunta doon, dadaan sa city. They will not sleep in the 11 islands, they will sleep in the city proper, di ba?
Correct.
So maraming
Maraming
advantages.
improvement ang mangyayari.
So it was mutual ba? It will give benefit to the municipality and of course to the city. Kuruan, tingnan mo Kuruan ha. From 1960s, I've been traveling to Pagadian to Zamboanga. Ang Kuruan noong araw, level sa highway, di ba? Nung nagkaroon ng establish yung national highway, tumaas ang kalsada, nabaon yung ang commercial center ng Kuruan, di ba? Nasa baba, no?
Correct.
Saka, I think the best way is when Coron becomes a town, they should relocate the population doon sa going to Kinipot ba? That there is a big area there. Both sides of the road are rice land, di ba? That could be converted into commercial center later on. Because right now, Coron is buried.
Elevated ang road.
Oh, mataas. Kasi, siyempre, you have to elevate with the height of the yung bridge doon. But now, because it is still a barangay, nobody has made an initiative to relocate the population. But make it a municipality or a town. Immediately, the local officials they will do something to relocate the population of Coruan to the road going to Kinipot. Maybe eventually it will reach Kinipot if after because growth of communities is gradual. Hindi po masabi na ngayon gawin mong town bukas.
Kaya dito Rex, I hope
little by little.
I hope the next candidate for mayor will try to listen to what we are talking and try to advance this idea.
you know, with your respect, kasi kapag wala kang you have nothing to compare, very hard to initiate, di ba?
Correct.
Kasi you have not known what is Cagayan before, you don't know what is Davao before, you don't know what is Iloilo or General Santos. You know only our own city when you were here, when you
never traveled.
Well, actually,
You don't
what is
Tacloban.
important is you have lived at least 1 year in one place so that you can observe.
Correct.
You have enough observation. Dito sa Zamboanga, I have been observing, personally, from 1960s up to now, almost 60 years ago, I have been observing the growth of Zamboanga. It is growing in the heart of the city, but not outside the city. For the past more than 50 years na, mag 60 years na. I have been here in 1961 di ba? 61,
Correct,
ilang
correct.
taon na? 60 years. So I have observed the growth of the city. In 1960s when I was here, there was only one means of transportation, the Kalisa. And dito sa city proper, if people will, according to them, if they go to Gorgia National, they can meet and know almost everybody. Kasi maliit lang maliit pa noon
correct.
In fact, the road before was the old highway was passing itong Bualan Elementary School. We used to pass there. Then dito naman sa city proper, itong Bougainvillea Drive, but Bougainvillea Drive at the back of the Nunez residence. Wala pa yung National Highway. Then connect to Barandino Bridge to Estrada Road, which was known as yung Last Solidaridad Street before. I know many
What the
people.
Guardia National, Rex?
Wala pa yun.
Wala pa.
Wala pa yung yung
Guardia.
Guardias nandyan original yun. Yung veteran sabi niyo wala pa. Of course, yes, wala pa yun Ang nandyan na noon, yung Alparo, of course, going to Pasunongka, yung Governor Ramos, wala pa yun. Going to Calarian, yun mga kasada noon. In the heart of the city, it's all rice land. Diyan sa Doctor's Hospital, rice land Many of our local officials, sa Pandos Hospital, with your respect, hindi nila alam yon na yun ang sinimulan ng Zamboanga. Zamboanga was growing gradually also like other cities like Cagayan de Oro. I have been in Cagayan de Oro City for 2 years, It was a very small city compared with Zamboanga in 1967.
But now, it's bigger.
Very much bigger. At saka,
Yung Limkit Kay, sa Basakan yun, ginawa.
it is considered a city within a city. Kangkungan yun And all the malls and the big establishment doon, those are all Pantano in 1960s when I was assigned there. Because we used to travel, we used to visit the city. And in fact...
you have been in Jensan, Rex?
Yeah, I was in Jinsan.
Jensan was a small town before, but now...
Jinsan was a barangay when Zamboanga became a
Now
city.
it's already a very big city.
It became the barangay after the Second World War, and it became a municipality.
Marbel, have you seen Marbel?
Yeah, I was
Marbel
assigned
has
there.
become a very big city
I was
already.
assigned there for 1 year. Kaya, we can attest to the progress of these areas because we have been there. At least we have stayed for 1 year.
Look at Davao to Tagum, only 50 kilometers. In between, Panabo.
I was assigned in Davao for 1 year.
I graduated in Davao.
Cagayan de Oro, 2 taon ako doon. Jinsan, 1 taon. Iloilo, 1 taon. Iligan, 1 year. Marawi City, Cotabato, 1960s I was there. More or less, lumaki tayo sa probinsya. Di ba? Probinsyano tayo Kaya alam natin kung paano lumaki yung mga communities na napakaliit ng araw.
Tingnan mo yung Cebu, Mandawi, then they become province. Natingnan mo, lumaki yung mga towns.
But anyway, before President Autana is 7:40, I would like to greet my good friend and compadre Roger and his family.
Good morning, Jer.
Well, tapos na nagpabaksin si kumpare ko sa Madrigo. Because that is needed that's why we are convincing everybody to have vaccinated, for their own good. You know what is lacking in our vaccination campaign is information drive. Marami pang hindi nakaintindi ba? Marami pang hindi nakaalam kung ano advantage. The advantage is that at least you are immunized, although not 100%, but you are more or less confident.
May depensa.
Yeah. So, like in states, they are we don't know their policy. After they are vaccinated, they are free to not to wear their mask. But anyway, kanya-kanyang style yan. But sa atin
Pero
ito,
according to Randy David Rex, the way we are being vaccinated here, it will take us 10 to 15 years to vaccinate 70 million Filipinos.
well, that depends on the availability of vaccine pa. At saka, because of lack of tawag dito, ng financial capability, palagi tayong huli. Ang nauna, yung malaking
Yung mga mayayaman
bansa
na
na may
countries.
pera,
Correct.
nakadeposito na sila. Sa atin dito, utang muna tayo bago tayo makabili. That is the difference
Correct.
between us and that. That's why there is a need really for everybody to cooperate ba. Have yourselves vaccinated and observe the health protocols. I would like to greet in advance my daughter, no, who will be celebrating her birthday tomorrow, May 16, our only daughter, Lunali Mirabiti, no?
Good morning, happy birthday, ha?
And of course, to my sister, who will be celebrating her birthday on May 17 also, who is in Sacramento, California. And all other celebrants, no? Happy birthday. So, another issue here is, itong 2022 election. But we are not sure whether that will pass through. Why?
Hindi sure, ha? Because of this pandemic.
According to Comelec, before in one booth, 10 people can be accommodated at any one time. Ngayon, isa na lang. Kasi limited ang number Nandiyon ang EIs, no, di ba? May inspector.
Correct.
So the voter, there is only 1 or 2 voters allowed at any one time. So ilang linggo matapos ang eleksyon? You see?
So, there is a danger that the election will be
It
postponed.
might be postponed. No? That is as far as our assessment is concerned. At saka before you can go to the vote, marami kang hangganan. Sikapin yung blood pressure mo, sikapin yung temperature mo. Di ba? At saka mayroon kang mga...
So, sa ngayon, Rex, yung mga people who are suffering from other illness, they are afraid to go to the hospital.
Yeah, because of transmission.
The hospital will put you inside the COVID-19 ward.
So itong election natin, although the Constitution says that it should be held every 3 years, no? But that can be amended by Congress. If you recall this barangay elections, how many times barangay elections were rescheduled or suspended or
Correct.
cancelled?
Correct.
Many times. Although the law is there, but Congress can always pass a law to amend the extension. Yung extension lang, di naman sabit mo pa. So, itong election natin sa 2022, maaring ma-extend ito because of the pandemic. But anyway, whether it will pass through or not, people should select or elect
already, I know of
candidates who are qualified.
4 candidates already for mayor in Zamboanga City.
Well, they are always saying, vote wisely. But the problem is, whom will you vote?
Si Celso is a candidate, si Jao, si Jan Dalipe, si Judy Climaco.
Well, anybody.
Maybe there are still others who will file.
Ed Ferrer, John Feliciano can run for mayor. Di ba?
Rex Mirabite.
So, sa atin naman, ang advice natin dito sa mga aspiring candidates, no?
Try to think deeply how to serve the people.
At saka importante dito, yung sabi nila, qualification, yung track record.
Correct, track record. Yung wag kang magnakaw.
Track record ba? Kung anong nagawa, yung previous record yan. If we talk of track record, yung nagawa niya noong araw, di ba? Track record. Mayroong track pero walang record. Ang iba, karamihan, di ba? Mayroong track walang record. So, actually, this is a very important value. Because if you are experienced, no? In fact, according to Vietnam President Ho Chi Minh, experience and initiative are nation's treasures.
Correct.
Without initiative, without experience, you can expect a nation to progress. Diba? You will all the time start from zero. But if your officials are having that experience and track record, you expect na you will have a better community. We are not trying to underestimate anybody, no? But that is one of the qualifications. Vote wisely, but whom to vote wisely, that is the problem. Di ba?
Whom to vote? Are the candidates all are honest?
Kaya nga, the best qualification is yung track record. Ano magagawa niya for the community to progress?
Kung wala siyang track record.
Wala siyang experience pa.
Correct.
So, we will always be starting from zero. Especially here in Zamboanga, there should have been local officers who were imaginative, anticipative. We are not blaming anybody, but that is one of the reasons why Zamboanga City, only Zamboanga City, heart of the city is progressing.
One of the best loved and respected mayor here in Zamboanga City was yung the late Cesar Climaco. He was loved and respected by the people here.
So, ito ang kailangan natin. Those who have the imagination, those who are creative, those who are innovative, those who are having foresight, those who are having that initiative, and of course, those local officials who can see not only what their eyes can see, meaning they can see at the other side of the mountain, di ba?
Correct, correct.
Through imagination is very powerful. You imagine something if you cannot see it. In fact, you imagine something because you cannot see it with your eyes.
Correct.
You see?
Dapat may mga intellectual capabilities yung who want to be mayors.
Well, any position for that matter, no? Well, even if you are just a mere councilor, if you are creative, you can always pass a resolution, no? Di ba?
Not to have online gambling, online cockpit. That is not a resolution. Nabeto ni Beng.
There are a lot of good things that you can do if you are a councilor. Kaya nga, councilor, ano ang ibig sabihin yan? You are a council, a group of people who are thinkers supposed to be council.
Correct.
Council is a group of people, di ba?
Correct.
A group of people who are imaginative, who are intelligent, who are honest, who are dedicated. Yeah, that is supposed to be the purpose of
Public
having
service ba?
Now, if you have a good idea, you can present your idea to the council, di ba? For to be presented to your to your colleagues, whether they will support it or not. But if it is really practical and realistic, I don't think your colleagues will not support.
Hindi online cockpit.
Well, online cockpit is not legal, no?
Online
That is
gambling,
because
gambling.
cockfighting is recreation, not gambling.
Online,
Since the time of the Spaniards,
online cockpit gambling yun.
it was the Spaniards who introduced this cockfighting to divert attention of the Filipinos
From
during
to
weekends.
revolt against them.
Yeah, so that they will not be revolting against the abusive and oppressive Spanish government. Kaya binigyan nila ng yung parang diversion ba?
Para they will be entertained.
During Sundays and holidays, di ba? It is not gambling actually. That is the reason why President Marcos issued Presidential Decree 449, because eventually cockfighting was becoming a gambling, di ba?
Correct.
So with the issuance of PD 449 in 1974, it has the number of cockpits in a municipality or city with less than 100,000 is only one cockpit. More than 100,000 is two cockpits. It was reduced because the purpose is to regulate gambling, not to proliferate. Now, if you pass a resolution franchise ordinance to allow online
cockpit, that is gambling.
Sabong, that is gambling already.
Pero nabito ni Beng, ha?
Well, the mayor is very
Congratulations, Mayor Beng.
The mayor is really, tawag natin, realistic ba? So, she has the power to veto. In fact, if you recall that budget, 2021, it was also vetoed by the mayor, mga changes na ginawa ng city council. It was vetoed and the budget remained as is, subject to the approval by DBM. Kasi ito, lahat na changes na recommend na veto they were not able to override it. Di ba? Wala.
Pero we are using the old budget na lang.
No. the budget of 2021 prepared by the executive branch will remain subject to the approval of the BM. Yung mga changes made by the majority of the city council cannot be implemented kasi it was vetoed and they were not able to override because of lack of number. So, ang budget natin sa 2021, yung ginawa ng executive branch as is yun. Kasi, that's the law. You can veto, you can be override. So, itong sa atin, election natin sa 2022 malapit na. At saka, naobserbahan ko yung ibang kandidato, in order to exalt themselves, they destroy others.
Style sa politika.
That is a wrong style because if you destroy others, the following of that pillow you are destroying will not vote for you. Diba? Do not expect the people who is sympathetic to the one you are destroying will sympathize with you. Like one of the senators, no? Ako noon, because he was once a member of the